Barack Obama had his 60th birthday, and I think...
Happy birthday to former President
birthday.
Barack Obama.
I think we can still call it a bash, even though they said it was scaled down, because there were a lot of people at this thing, and there is Barack Obama dancing unmasked.
Yeah, Barack and her. I didn't mean Michelle. Michelle.
You meant her. H period,
yes.
E period, R period.
Yeah.
No, but it was a star-studded event for sure. And, you know, it was under this tent, this really...
A large tent.
Really large tent.
Right? I think, look, that tent is central to this. The issue here, of course, is that a lot of people feel this was unsafe with the spread of the Delta variant. And that's the reason that they said they were scaling back.
That's right.
The party, which was supposed to be 500 people roughly. So we don't have an exact number on how many people were there. Some people have said around, 200. There were a lot of people. Erykah Badu was having a grand time.
Yeah. Much to the chagrin of the people who were trying to keep cell phones out of this thing.
Because, by the way, this is some of the only footage that you will see inside the party. They did a pretty good job of, I would imagine they told everyone to not post video inside the party. But was this safe or was it not safe? That's the issue here. And the CDC has said, look, vaccinated people can spread the Delta variant just as well as unvaccinated.
And they've been saying that that indoors you should wear a mask, even if you're vaccinated.
Do you consider that tent to be indoors or outdoors?
I mean, I think it's a good question.
It's open at both ends, right? So
what do you consider it?
Looking at it from there, I would say it's outdoors. I would consider it outdoors. I think I might feel differently if I were actually inside with a few hundred people.
The one thing you don't know is a lot of times
you can't tell what the
I can't tell if there's plastic on that, because sometimes what they do is they'll put plastic on it to guard it from the elements, and that would make it indoors. But either way,
just a lot of people there, and I think that wasn't the expectation when they said that they were scaling it back.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's really sort of interesting to me is we know that on the larger guest list, there were a lot of politicians on the larger guest list. We didn't see many politicians on the smaller guests, people that actually went to the party. And I'm wondering if what he did was he knew there would be a political price to pay if Nancy Pelosi and other Democratic leaders would have showed up at this party. So he sort of he excluded them, because now it's basically him and a ton of celebrities. Right. And so he takes a hit, but what does he care anymore?
Well, I think he does. I think he does care, Jason. I mean, look, he is still a
leader in the Democratic Party.
Not just a leader, but a beloved leader in the Democratic Party, and beyond the Democratic Party too. I mean, I think he transcends, to some extent, he transcends politics in that way. But I don't think by saying you're keeping politicians out, because he is at the very top of this. He's at the pinnacle. And one of the things that he's been doing is he's been talking about the need to get a vaccine and all the other stuff. I don't think he wants to break from the CDC. What's interesting is I haven't heard the CDC commenting about this yet. And I would assume at some point they're going to be asked.
By the same token, you also haven't heard the CDC commenting about the music festivals that are going on.
Oh, you have? I mean, we certainly heard him talk about surges, because they've said...
They've talked about surges, but they have not specifically said Lollapalooza
what's the difference?
I
mean...
Bonnaroo shouldn't be going on.
They haven't called out specific events.
Right.
They've been calling out Sturgis, which they should, but I've heard a lot of... In fact, Fauci said he was terribly worried about Lollapalooza. When you get all those people, even though that was outside, when you get them all together, they're really worried about a super spreader. So I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting that he chose not to wear a mask. I mean, do you argue this is outdoors? I don't know.
I'm Jordan from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I don't think that this is controversial. I'm pretty sure President Obama is requiring negative COVID tests and full vaccination, plus they're outdoors. So this is not the gotcha moment that a lot of people were hoping for.
See, but that's the issue. You said that it's outdoors, and I think that's debatable, based on that tent and how many people, and we don't know the number of people that were in there.
Right.
But that's the issue.
That is the issue. And by the way, being vaccinated doesn't cut it, because the CDC is saying you should be wearing a mask indoors. So anyway, there were a lot of neighbors who, he's beloved on Martha's Vineyard by a lot of people, but there were some people who were really upset that it was just snarling traffic. It just created a whole scene there.